Fox 35 News at 7 starts now.
It is 7:37, and the financial crisis has many people and many families worried. Do I have enough money to last me so I can retire? Well, a way to get an answer of yes is to make sure that you are saving. Joining us now is Richard Reyes, also known as the Financial Quarterback, with his tips on how to save and how to make it through this crisis. Good morning.
Good morning, Heidi.
Families, I think, have gotten used to just being able to spend money on whatever they want, but I think it's time to buckle down. How do families figure out their difference between wants and needs and create a budget?
Well, that's a good question, Heidi. You were right. Families right now need to buckle down. This is an opportune time to really sit down with the family and with a financial advisor if you've never had done it before, and just to see what you have, where you're at, not only from a long-term but from a short-term perspective as well. Many people haven't done that. We've had 20-plus years of just phenomenal times, and during good times, people don't really take the time to do that. But right now, when you really have to do it, families should definitely take the time and do the financial planning portion that they haven't done in the past.
Richard, I hate to admit it this personally, but I let my husband do a lot of the family finances, and I think a lot of people are like me. One or the other does it in the family. Is it important that everyone sits down together and talks about what the family's needs and wants are?
Exactly. Defining those needs and the wants, and especially from the husband, the wife, and the kids, so that they all understand they're all in the same boat together. Especially, most important, husband and wives, because sometimes the husband and the wife are not in the same boat from the standpoint of needs and want. What's a need to another might be a want to the other. So again, getting back to that being in the same boat together, it's important to discuss that from the whole family, husband, wife, and the kids.
Richard, thank you. A whole nother question, too, is thinking about your kids. If you have questions for the Financial Quarterback, you can head on over to myfoxorlando.com and maybe ask a few questions you've been wondering about in your own home. It is 7:39, and both candidates millions of dollars wiped away as Wall Street wanes in some tough days right now. And now millions of Americans, you and I, all struggling to save after watching our nest eggs crumble like Humpty Dumpty. All the King's men not able to put everything better again right now, but our quarterback, who is on your side, is here in the newsroom, the Financial Quarterback, Richard Reyes. Richard, we've been talking in the last hour or so. You've been chatting online with some of our viewers about their questions. What's the biggest concern that you're seeing?
I think the biggest concern is just people don't know what to do, and they're panicking, and they're also just frozen. They have no idea what's going on. They just bombarded constantly by the media, and so they don't know what to do. They don't know what they have, and they're just not doing anything.
How do you start to get a handle on what you're doing and how you're watching your finances? Again,
it all gets back to this is a very opportune time because of the times that we're having to sit down with a financial advisor and go over what you have, go over what you've been doing. We've had 20-plus years of just excess where money was easy to have. If we got into problems, it was easy to get out of problems. Now we're back to reality. And if we sit down with a qualified financial advisor, you, your wife, and just sit down and take a look with what you have and get a better understanding so that you can move forward in a more educated way.
I think a lot of us remember being with our grandparents, even our parents, you know, folding up the tinfoil, trying to save it for another day because they were conscious after living through the Depression era. How do we pass along to our kids the importance of saving, understanding money and all of that? It's not an easy thing to do.
No, it's not. You know, I think for a lot of families, the conversation about money is still taboo, but it doesn't have to be. And also understand that kids are a lot smarter than you think. They pick up on your actions. They pick up on what you're doing. If you have a very frugal way about you and your family, well, your kids usually are frugal. If you just start spending all over the place and you're not a big saver and you're stressed all the time about money, your kids catch on to that and are educated by that. So the thing that we really have to do is open up the conversation with your kids, and especially in making them understand needs, wants, what's a budget, how does the economy work, really not even getting into stock market, bonds, bailouts, and so on, but just giving them just a basic understanding of how money works.
Start with allowance. All right, Richard, thank you so much for all that information. I know my 2-year-old already asking for a credit card. I think maybe a little early. Thank you.
Thanks.
20 minutes.